Alright, so we're going to look at problems number 1 and 3 together. Well, let's look at problems number 1. Notice that I am adding, okay? But before I can add these together, I need to address that there's a number in front, okay? So I'm going to take that number and move it to the exponent. So I'm going to rewrite this as log base 6 of x plus log base 6 of y plus log base 6 of z squared. So that number just got moved to the exponent. Well, now I'm adding. Well, we said a second ago I can combine logs into 1 if my bases are the same. Well, all my bases are 6. And by adding, because I'm adding them, I can multiply everything. So x times y times z squared, and that would be my final answer. So I condensed each expression into a single logarithm. I have one log in my final answer. Well, so if you look at number 2, go ahead and pause the video and try that one. But I'm going to skip ahead to number 3 because number 3 looks a little different. See how they're being divided by 2? So I'm going to talk about what does that mean. First thing I'm going to do to make this make a little bit more sense is that when I divide by 2, it's the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. So I'm going to say this is 1/2 log base 6 of x plus 1/2 log base 6 of y plus 1/2 log base 6 of z. Okay. And then, just like before, I'm going to apply that whole property and say that, well, whatever's in front, I can move to the exponent. Well, that gives me log base 6 of x to the 1/2 plus log base 6 of y to the 1/2 plus log base 6 of z to the 1/2. Before I combine those, I need to think about, well, what does that 1/2 mean? Well, if we remember, we talked about a property that if I have 2 to the 1/2, that's the same thing as square root of 2. So I'm going to go through and change these and say, well, this is log base 6 of square root of x plus log base 6 of square root of y plus log base 6 of square root of z. And now I'll look at my signs. I'm adding. Well, adding means I multiply. So log base 6 of square root of x, in parentheses there, times square root of y times square root of z. And because all of those are square roots, I can simplify that just a little bit more and say that this is log base 6 of the square root of x times y times z. And that would be my final answer. I'm also going to go ahead and try number 7. I know I mentioned just doing 1 and 3, but I do want to try number 7 because it has the ln and it's subtraction. So let's look at this one together as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my number, move it to the exponent. And that gives me ln of u to the 5 minus ln of v squared. Alright. Well, that minus sign means I'm going to divide. So I'm going to combine these into 1 and say this is ln of u to the 5th divided by v squared. And that is all. That's all you can do for that one.